Hello again, friends. Duke of Haze here. Thank you once again for allowing me into your homes. Today is Sunday, July 7th, 2024. This is my weekly weigh-in for the first week of July. This is my second week overall of doing a strict 1,500 calorie or less diet. I'm like yesterday, I think I did like 1,000 calories, give or take. I don't think I did the full 1,500 yesterday. It's not like I'm trying to do less than 1,500. It's just that I don't know. I don't like eating multiple times a day. Like, I'm very used to waking up, fasting for until, like I said, 1 p.m. my time. Wait. No, yesterday was normal. I was about to say Friday was a little different. I had like some almonds and cottage cheese at 1 o'clock. But yesterday, like at 1, I had 2 servings of steel cut oats. Oh shit, I haven't even checked my blood sugar yet. We can do that too. Two servings of steel cut oats, not quick oats, regular steel cut oats, because according to Google, that's the best kind of oatmeal for someone like me who has type 2 diabetes. I had 2 servings of oatmeal, 1 egg, and 1 Bar S Frank, like a hot dog, because they're cheap. And I don't know, man, it's hard to describe why you eat Franks. It's because they're cheap, and although not good for you, I will say, but they're a cheap source of protein. Times are tough. Times are definitely tough in terms of the money department. And if the election does not go right, 120, so I'm at normal. My blood sugar is normal, finally. Here's the proof. Sorry, I have to get used to this whole recording thing. 120, so that's good, that's normal. Up to 135 is normal. Past 135, you're starting to get into diabetic territory. But that's good that I'm waking up now with normal blood sugar levels, and my blood sugar spiked. My blood sugar was 120.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah, so the oatmeal is okay.
I mean, other than, like, because it's gonna spike. It's oatmeal, it's hard.
Yeah,
But it went down.
yeah. But sorry, I was just letting my mother know. Like I said, I do live at home. I don't know. I grew up from a generation where I'm like mid-level millennial. I was born in the late 80s, so our idea of success was to have a college degree, have a high-paying job, because that's what everybody expected of me. Like, my grandpa was like super into me getting education. When I asked him to teach me how to do, like, I asked him how to make adobe once, which is like a lot of the buildings here in New Mexico are made out of adobe. And my grandpa knows how to make it. And I asked him to show me one time. He's like, "Oh, you don't want that, mijo. It's a lot of hard work. You just go to school and get an education." And so, stuff that I would have found or still do find practically useful, it gets treated as lesser because it's like a societal thing. Trade schools are less valued than they should be. A trade is less valued than it should be. But trades are hella important, because if society collapses, finger crossed that doesn't happen this year or next year. Knowing how to build things is kind of important. So I don't know. I was always told that going to school is the correct choice and getting a degree is the correct choice. And I have my bachelor's, like I said, but it's well, I didn't really say that, but I do have a bachelor's degree in individualized studies. I have an associate's degree because I needed a break from school, and so I had enough credits, and so I got my associates. And I was in the process, like I said, of earning a master's degree in TESOL. But after my second year, I took a break and never went back. So we'll see about that. So this time around, trying to put more effort into my content by making actual recorded videos. You see me a lot more. Whether or not you think that's good, that's totally fine. That's your prerogative. But this is what we're going to be doing moving forward, and I'm going to rename the Duke Does WoW channel to Duke of Haze Plays, and that's where all of our gaming videos will be uploaded. So I'm not stopping video game content. I love video games. One of my three passions in life are video games, language, and music. I do have a SoundCloud, but I haven't uploaded anything new to it for probably 6 years, 5 years, something like that. I have not been in the mood to create music lately, and with the advent of AI and what people can do, and I just feel less valued overall, and maybe that's something I'm going to be discussing with my therapist. Is that, like, I don't know, all the things that I thought were valuable about me are not so valuable anymore. It's going to get to the point where teaching's going to be like, this is me being paranoid, but I think that there's a real possibility that, like, eventually teaching will be done by AI. Translations are only getting better, and AI was going to completely take over the translation game. Lots of things where humans are just going to become obsolete, which is pretty dangerous territory in my personal opinion, but I'm digressing too much. But I did weigh in today. I'm 224. My weight fluctuates between 224 and 220. I haven't gotten below 220 yet. I've not been going over my calorie limit. I'm taking I work out like maybe 4 times a week. Like right now, my hamstrings and glutes are hella sore, so I'm not going to work on those. I don't even know what you would call this area right here, but I just did 45 minutes of weightlifting yesterday for my biceps, triceps, and whatever this area is called. Not really quite my pecs, but don't know what you call this area. But so I'm sore, upper body is sore, my butt and my back of my legs are sore. So today is a rest day for that. I'm trying, man. According to MyFitnessPal, I'm supposed to be losing 2 pounds a week, so we'll see. I didn't weigh myself last Sunday because I don't think I had the scale by that point, so maybe I have lost 2 pounds. Oh, here's what I do know. When I went to the doctor's office 2 weeks ago, I weighed 231 pounds, and now I weigh 224. So that's a 7-pound loss at the very least, as long as I don't go back up to like 225 or something. Like, I swear, man, I've not been able to get past 225. I'm at 224, which is good, but I feel like my weight has been stagnating and like fluctuating the same 7 pounds over and over. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's that's been rough, and you're not really supposed to weigh yourself every day, I don't think, just because it can be discouraging. So I will weigh myself once a week, and today I did weigh myself. And I have the footage that I'll be attaching to this video. This is the footage of me recording my weight. Sorry, this is kind of hella awkward. I will say that hardcore dieting has made me very irritable, lack of energy. Like, I just feel tired all the time. I get annoyed very, very easily now. Other than that, like, that's the part that really sucks. Like, I'll just be like watching something, and then all of a sudden, like, my eyes are, I can't keep them open, and I'm like, but Really, those are the only two negative side effects that I can think of. But yeah, I guess this is episode 1. I don't really have a whole lot to say outside of, I don't know why, I guess. This is kind of like weight loss diary 1 slash life diary 1. They're probably going to coincide with each other, but like I'm 36. I was born in May 1988. Um, Pretty much been overweight my whole life. Legit, I don't think I've ever been a healthy weight ever. I just grew up very spoiled. I think that's a lot of our stories. Is that, like, we weren't rich, but my grandparents, like, they spoiled me a lot, especially my grandma. And I don't hate her for that or anything. I don't want that to come off as me blaming her. I loved my grandma very much. When she died in 2016, I was very, very affected by it. But I don't blame her for that. It's just that, your loved ones think they're doing good by treating you with, like, Sonic, and like that was one of my favorite things growing up. Is like after my grandma would pick me up from middle school and we'd go to like Sonic and she would get me something. Usually it wasn't a wacky pack. Even in middle school I was eating like adult sized food. It was probably like maybe the Chicken Club toaster sandwich or something like that. Talking about it is making me hungry. Little things. My mom was the manager of a Blake's Burger, which is a local burger fast food chain specifically to New Mexico. It exists outside of New Mexico, but it's a pretty New Mexican thing. Blake's Burger is, and I guess we'll just get into it. My dad was a drug addict. My dad died in 2021, and so my whole life I didn't really have much of a male role model. And when I was 9, I was raped twice by my cousin. Once outside of his house and once in my great grandmother's bathroom. And ever since then I've been very distrustful of men in general. So the women in my life are very important to me. My mother, my sister, my grandmother, my aunt. Even though my aunt can be a little fake sometimes, I still have a lot of respect for her because she was, like a lot of my family members, she was overweight and she lost it all. She just had, like I said, I'll get into this later, but she lost probably 200 plus pounds naturally. But she did it like later in her life, maybe in her 40s is when she chose to do it, and she had a lot of excess skin, and luckily she married my uncle, and they're, at least from an outsider looking in, they don't seem to struggle for money, and so he was able to help her pay for the cosmetic surgery to remove the excess skin. But that part's not important. The important part is that she took the initiative and she lost all the weight, and I have a lot of respect for her for that. And so because of, what happened with my cousin, I've always felt broken, unwanted, used goods. Like, who would ever want to be with someone who was violated like that? Like, I don't know, these are things that I think. I haven't really spoken with a lot of other sexual abuse victims, so I don't know how other people feel about it, but that's how I've felt. Like, who could ever want to be with me physically? The thought of being intimate with someone is like extremely scary to me. Like, it's one thing to watch adult content on the tube, and it's, I don't know, it's quite another to imagine myself being in that situation and how horribly awkward I would feel just thinking about it. It's really, I don't know, it's weird to me, but that doesn't mean I don't want to. I have a libido just as much as anybody else does, and part of that is, I want to have kids someday. And in order for me to feel physically desirable, I want to look physically desirable, at least by my standards. Like, I don't want to be a roided out gym bro, but I certainly don't want to be a 224-pound neckbeard either. It doesn't help that I haven't shaved yet. And so I'm doing something to change that. And like I said, not getting any younger is a big motivating factor as well. So that's kind of like why I want to lose weight. Like, it's just because I've never felt physically desirable by anybody. I'm sure there are people who like my body type. I'm sure there are people who... I've gotten stares, and I can tell when I've been flirted with. At least I think. Maybe I'm really bad at reading social cues. Sometimes I can tell when someone's kind of flirting, and other times it's hard to tell. Like, because some people just might have a flirty demeanor, and you think they're flirting when they're not. But most of the time, I don't know. I've recognized it, but like, I don't know. I don't know how to date. I've only ever dated... One was an internet relationship when I was 15, and I was a shitty boyfriend. I didn't know how to be a boyfriend. I didn't know how to love people. I mean, I'm 15, like, I have to give myself some slack. Like, if I was talking to like a son or something that was 15, I would cut him slack just because you're not fully mature at that age and you don't understand how to be emotionally intelligent at that age. But that was one instance where I've always been hella nervous, so I didn't really call her on the phone because I'm hella anxious to call people on the phone. I could have been better, and I think I have a lot of regret for that, but you can't go back and change it. And I do wish that I could say sorry, meaningfully say sorry for not being a very good boyfriend. And then my next relationship wasn't for like 5 years. Yeah, like 4 years. I was like 19, going on 20, I think. And one of my friends from high school, one who stopped talking to me, by the way, not because of this instance, but this person stopped talking to me, and don't know why. I say a lot of shit when I'm streaming, and maybe I accidentally hurt his feelings, but if I did something and I don't know what it was, I can't begin to make amends for it if you don't tell me that there's a problem. But that's a story for a different time. His cousin. I dated his cousin for, I don't know, like 2 months maybe. It was not a long time that we dated, and there was no chemistry, but like everybody thought that I was gay because I had never had a girlfriend, or at least none that people knew about, and so they were worried that I was gay. I mean, I'm bisexual, full transparency. I'm physically attracted to men and women. But I don't know. It was kind of a convenience thing. She was using me to make somebody else jealous, which was shitty of her to do. She shouldn't have done that. On top of that, I got randomly, I'll remember it clear as day, on my old ass flip phone. It was a pink flip phone because my dad bought himself a cell phone and my sister wanted one, and they were flip phones, and he got a pink. Like, they didn't even bring me into the equation. They didn't bother to think that I would want a cell phone. To be fair, I didn't, but he got the pink one for my sister, and he didn't realize that my sister hates the color pink. And so my sister had a blue flip phone, and the pink one eventually got passed down to me after he got another one. I don't know how it ended up with me, but I'll remember it clear as day, opening it, seeing a text message from her saying that she didn't really like me romantically, and that she was still willing to be with me, but just know that it's literally, I'm remembering like exactly what she said. She's still willing to be with me, but just know that things aren't going to go anywhere on her end. And, what the fuck is your response to something like that other than, okay, then we're not together. But it's like she gaslit me into breaking up with her so that she wouldn't have to be the bad guy. That's the only way I can see that. And so that relationship was a shit show, and it ended like a shit show. And years later, sometime last, I don't even know how long it's been, but she like contacted me randomly on Facebook. I don't really use Facebook anymore, but this was back when I did. And she said, "Oh my god, I saw a memory. I haven't thought about you in so long. How are you doing?" And like the how unaware someone has to be to say something like that stupid, or I don't know, man. It's like I told my therapist, like, who starts a conversation like that? Like, "Oh my god, I haven't thought about you in such a long time. How are you doing?" It's like, okay. Uh, if you want to know that you mean something to someone, you would not start a conversation like that. So, she was never once apologetic about how it was, and I was not in the mood to entertain even being her friend because I have no tolerance for that. I can be a forgiving person. You just have to like actually seek forgiveness. Like, I can't forgive you if it's not something that you're looking for, right? Like, if you're sorry, legitimately sorry, I'll give you another chance. But if you break my trust any like even one more time, like, it's you're cut off. I have nothing. I'm not interested in anything to do with you at that point. But those are the only two relationships I've ever had in my life. One was young dumb love, and the other was you could say that I got in a relationship with her because I wanted everybody to like get off my back about being in a relationship with somebody. So I guess in a way I was also using that relationship to my advantage, but looking back, I guess I shouldn't have been so beat up about it because we really didn't like each other like that. And so me pretending to be attracted to her, even physically attracted to her, which I wasn't, if I'm being honest. But again, it's something that I guess I should have really analyzed and thought, okay, well, it was toxic either way. And I can't say that I also wasn't using that relationship to get everybody off my back. So I guess we were both using each other. I guess I'm coming to that conclusion now that I'm saying it out loud. I guess we were both using each other, but I don't know. She got more out of the deal because she ended up losing her virginity to the guy that she was using me to make jealous. So I didn't get jack shit outside of not being bothered for. And I'm not saying that sounds fucking weird when you say that. I know, like, it's not like I was expecting anything physically from her because I didn't see her that way. And it was just, I don't know. I guess it was just to say, oh, I have a girlfriend now. I'm cool or whatever. But like, yeah, I wasn't into her that way ultimately. So like, there were no sparks. The most I ever did was kiss her on the cheek, and even then that felt horribly awkward. Nothing about it felt right. I didn't Most we ever did was hug and hold hands, and holding hands is nice. It's nice to hold hands with people. But I was also, like I said, it just was not something that ultimately felt right. Because if it did, it would have worked, right? I guess. But that's another reason. I don't know how to date. I want to try dating. I want to get married. I want to have kids. And I know that there really is no limit. There's no time limit for me as a man to have kids, but I want to have them young enough to the point where I can enjoy watching them grow up, and I don't want to be geriatric when my kids are teenagers. So that's my motivation for my weight loss, and a little bit about me. I would have to really try and organize my thoughts to like have a video that's a little more cohesive and not so all over the place. But to recap, I've always been overweight. Um, Dad was a drug addict. That's I don't know. That doesn't really change it. Like, well, that is a part of a bigger story. I was distrustful of my father growing up because of what happened with my cousin. I've been distrustful of men. So because of my father and my cousin, I haven't really liked men. And I don't know. Maybe I have some internalized misandry about myself. I don't know. I've never felt physically attractive, mostly because of the essay, and that I've never felt attractive. So I want to be physically desired by somebody. I miss being needed. Like, I like being needed by somebody. But I'm getting off too much. But I'll be back next week with another weigh-in and another video diary about how my week is going. Like I said, I'm a pretty boring person, so I don't really have a whole lot going on, really, outside of making these videos and streaming over on Twitch. If you're interested in hanging out and chilling with me, talking with me, it is twitch.tv/Duke_of_Haze. But thanks for watching this video weight loss diary, and I'll see you guys next Sunday for another weigh-in and another diary.